Hey, it's Caroline from Sante Fitness. As promised, today's pose is a child's pose. And this is one of the top favorites of all people who do movement, mind, body style training. This is like our favorite. It is a prone position, which means we are going to be face down. So if that causes you any challenges or any negative emotion, then, by all means make it comfortable, and I'll show you some ways to do that. So keep that in mind, that occasionally it'll actually bring up emotions that aren't necessarily helpful or welcoming. So that's why we always stay in our body. We always stay connecting our mind to our body, noticing how is this affecting me, how is this making me feel, and then we decide in that moment, is this a good idea or is this not a good idea? For most of us, it is a wonderful idea. It is one of our favorite poses, and I'll show you some great ways to make it even more comfortable. All right, so as you can see, I'm seated. Now, ordinarily, you don't start from standing and then end up in your child's pose. You tend to come into a child's pose from like a half plank position or a down dog position. So we'll just kind of stretch things out. I will go into a down dog, and then I will show you how you'd come down into your child's pose and what you want to get out of it once you get there. All right, so I'm going to hands and knees first. Hands, of course, gripping that floor. They are rooting into the floor. You can see the muscles activate as I'm rooting into that floor, turning the toes under. On my exhale, I pull the stomach up and in. That lifts the hips without any real work there for my lower back. And then just play with my legs just for a moment. And then, like I said, we're coming into our child's pose. So I'm going to lower my knees, but notice that I don't lower just straight down. I actually kind of bring the weight back, and then I lower the knees. So now I'm in a hands and knees position. And then I can bring the torso. And again, notice I'm not bending the back in order to get into there. I'm actually going to just keep my torso long, and I'm bending here at the knees, and I'm bending here at the hips. There are other ways to get into this. If it feels good, you can always bend that back and just kind of stretch like a cat stretch into it. But just for now, I'm just going to show you with the long torso. So we're coming into it with a long torso. I'm going to turn my toes under, or rather bring my toes flat on the floor. And then if you notice a cramping in those toes, then you can start pressing the toenails down into the ground. That muscular activation in the foot can often help alleviate that tension. You can also try widening the knees a little bit and allowing the toes to touch, the two big toes to touch, and that might help as well, give you a little bit more space. And most of us actually prefer to have the knees open. And then from there, of course, you just hang out. So you get your forehead down onto the ground. And it's kind of cool. We have a little pressure point in the middle of our forehead. So if you press it down into the ground, it actually allows you to feel more release and more comfort. Just kind of a cool little pointer there. So you want to press that forehead down straight into the floor. You can have your hands long, stretching away from your head. You can have your hands here down next to your toes. Either one of those is fine. I'll show you a little fun thing you can add on top of this. And then you also want to notice that right now my stomach is moving in between my legs, and that again feels comfortable for me. But if that is too much, you can always grab pillows and make this a restorative child's pose. So then you would want to just grab your pillows and kind of create a mound of comfort so that you can hang out on top, and that feels really good. When you do that, that is actually a great way to start any restorative practice, and you can hang out like that for a good 5 to 10 minutes. It's amazing. Okay, another fun thing to do from here, when you're in the middle of a workout and this is just a quick breather, you can come into your child's pose like this and then walk both arms over. And this is often called a moonwalk child's pose. And then it just gets into a deeper stretch along the long side of the body. So you hang out there for a second. And then you move over through neutral spine and then over into the other side, lengthening. The key here is you're not going to try to crunch your lumbar spine. You're not trying to bend right in here. What you're trying to do is lengthen the rib cage that way and then over. So there is a very big difference there. You're always going to want to feel longer when you come out of your pose rather than shorter. And then coming back to center, walking those hands up bring the knees together. And that's it. That is your child's pose. Like I said, you can hang out there as long as it feels comfortable. If it is not comfortable, then make any adjustments, either with the feet adjusting or with those knees out. Over time, you'll be able to get more and more comfortable in it, and you'll be able to play with it more. It will become a full-on resting pose for you. But just play with it, enjoy it, and I will see you next time. Bye.